Yes, yeah. So my name is Devendra Katyar, I'm now with DuPont Sustainable Solutions in a capacity of a senior consultant and project leader, where I lead engagements with various clients on transformations. Earlier to that, I've been working with Kane and BG and ONGC. So mostly been working with upstream oil and gas in operational roles and later roles in safety and risk management. So let me try and put my presentation up, and what I'm going to talk about would be the challenges you would face in an HSE performance management. So that's the topic which I would be talking on today. Now, all of us believe, or the very reason or rationale right from morning what we heard is about the purpose for HSE performance management, or I would say the purpose for HSE management itself is to mitigate the operational risks. And it's about keeping that balance in business where the business activity goes on, but at the same time, we will have risks as we do the business or any activity which we do. So how do we mitigate? And that's the core part. And then the mitigation, we need to know like which areas would that be. That is in these areas of people, assets, environment, and community. And what these days very popularly gets called, and there's a very strong belief within DuPont, is a triple bottom line approach, which is people, environment, and the asset value or revenue or profit, whichever way we want to look at. Now, all of this gets exposed to risks, but if we look at all three, and then we have to manage, the way would be to have a mechanism of managing or looking at how the performance is happening, or what way we can look at what are the numbers coming out, or what are the measures by which we know whether we are moving forward or not. So what will we look at? We need to look at risk, because that's the area HSE would be focused on, is to look at what risks are coming across. Now, I have taken the model here to represent would be what is now in industry gets called as process safety, but that typifies a very good model on looking at risk management. So recognizing of risks in terms of process safety information then will have various elements, like which would be going around from like how the operations themselves get managed right up to MOCs and managing of incidents, and so these different components constitute the entire set of risks which will come across. And this is our area which needs to be now seen, are we mitigating these risks? So once we have identified these risks, we will have to look at mechanisms of converting these into some measurable levels. Now, one of the approaches which can be there is this is a very well-known approach, like many of you would recognize the bow tie diagram, but look at the entire aspect of right from causal factors to consequence. So once we have the whole inventory of risks, we look at where the causal factors are and what are the barriers preventing it from loss of hydrocarbon or any loss event. So you could replace that. Now, identify all these barriers. So while we start with the process of risk management, we identify all these barriers, and most of our KPIs or indicators tend to come from these areas. As an example, like incidents we monitor, all of us monitor incidents in various nature, they would be on the consequence side of it. Now, that's the point I say. So that's the genesis of how these parameters have come. But somewhere around this process, have the indicators remained connected with the risk? I think that's a question I wanted to raise and try and answer, which is, are we losing this connection between what the risk was and how the barriers, or how we identified these KPIs or any kind of indicators, whichever way we would like to call them. Now, these KPIs would be of various levels, like indicated here as A, B, C, and D, which is about the various level of severity these indicators will pose. So now that we have got the KPIs, and then we define these KPIs on a very detailed level, and we have a mechanism of collecting data on it, building up the numbers as we go across, and deciding thresholds. So just before my fellow, the speaker before showed us a beautiful system in which you get the data, and then there is an analysis and onwards. So the start point would be somewhere a definition of a possible KPI, which gets reflected here. Now, we all have lots of KPIs, and we all have seen lots of indicators, but are there any challenges? One of the bits, like to remind you on would be that Baker Panel report after the Macondo disaster said that the proper focus was not onto the right sort of indicators, like the thrust came onto the process safety indicators. And actually there was a significant progress. If you look at their LTI data, it was, I think, moved from reduced by 4 times. So 2.5 to 0.5 it came down over a period of 4 or 5 years. And still, and in fact they were celebrating an LTI for free performance that day on Macondo. Now that, but probably history's largest incident in environment happened. So that's the one part of these indicators I want to raise, which is a challenge, is that the right KPI linked back to the risk? So what was the risk, and is it linked back? So the critical few is those critical few KPIs are the right indicators. So that's the first graph showing here, which is where the risk against it, and then you get an explosion, but you were monitoring something else, and then we were actually not mitigating the right level of risk. Then if we have lots of plants, we do all have multi-location businesses, do we consistently keep the consistency between the various KPIs or the various parameters which are going in? And thirdly, are they continuously being monitored at the same level of urgency? So I like to delve deeper into this and then try and see where the challenges are. Why does that happen? Because in the real world, we still have a lot more improvement possible to be done. So elements of a performance management system, like simply put, would be the metrics, data collection process, monitoring and review process, and action initiation and tracking so that action happens and the loop gets closed across it. Now, right in this process, it's all being done by people. So the data collection, the metrics development is possibly done by the softwares, but data collection and then building the metrics or the selection of metrics is done by people. Monitoring and review process is done. Now, if you have a lot of people and then the first level of data, which is actually very, at times could be a subjective data, is getting in, then the perception of the people on what constitutes an incident or a recording metric becomes important. And as a case in example, as an example, I would say near misses. Now, near misses, the definition all across tends to vary so much. Like sometimes a fire is a near miss, and some places some places a bottle not kept in its right place could be a near miss. So it's just like different interpretations across it. Part of the challenges is because the way it is defined. So near misses, and if you look at the risk perception of it, so how people will get it reported right in the first place is a challenge. And that will depend upon the perception people will have around the meaning of that metric. And similarly, it can happen to all of the other metrics if you are not careful enough on identifying where the KPIs are, how the KPIs are getting collected and moving forward. So in summary, like what challenges we see in performance management system while we have worked across or coming from our experiences would be first one being unclear definitions. So the definition itself of what we are collecting and getting everyone to send in, is that fairly clear? Because many of the organizations we have seen have moved, say, taking the example again of near miss, which have moved to defining high potential near misses, which tend to be somewhat clear in terms of definitions. And some of the companies or organizations in certain places have moved on to define it on a basis of risk or a potential risk. So that's one. Then I think there's a very real world problem about this, which is about the practical difficulty in capturing data. And this is about like right from the bit which we feel all across around reporting consistency in terms of are all the incidents getting reported, if you just take the incidents data. And then the second part, like the person who's starting to fill that up, it's usually is an add-on to his day job. And it's very often is this the debate between line function and function and safety or things like that come up. And this data is adding on to somebody's job. So have we got alignment with the organization who's going to fill in or prepare this data? Inconsistent data formats or inconsistent report formats between different places, then somebody else gets into the process who has to try and merge it. And in this entire process, very intensive resource requirements built up which have not been really thought of. So we have got all these numbers coming across, but we are adding on to lots of people's jobs. And the question gets asked in terms of culturally, what's the value? Is it really adding value for the people who are doing it? What value do we see? And apart from that, on a human aspect, there is definitely the two aspects of we don't want to get compared between places, or there is a fear of repercussion or a fear of unknown almost, that okay, this data is as bad and then things may be against me at an individual level or at a departmental level or at a leadership level. So these are the cultural factors or which people will face, or in any organization which would be there for effectiveness of a performance management system. So what do we do? How do we address that? And with the ultimate objective which I started with, which is about mitigating the operational risk, because that's the objective we have to keep in mind. So how do we reach that? And then what could be the factors to take that forward? So first, as I said, people are the key element of the whole process, because they are the ones who are getting involved with this piece, because they're right from the start to end, they are the involvement. So first is alignment across the organization on the purpose and objectives of why this risk reduction. And if this risk reduction measure is not relevant, they then have a logical basis around it that this risk is significant and why we need to work on it or why we don't need to work on it. So get a buy-in across the organization. Then capabilities both in terms of resources, time and people, and training and understanding or competence, I would say, rather than say just training. We have competence around understanding of how this performance management works and how it relates back to you. And the technical model which has to be relevant to risk. So I think Mr. Surya Rao mentioned in the morning, measure barriers every morning, measure the barriers in every day. And then I think if it has to be done, and if you're talking of a very large plant, we need to see that the right set of indicators are coming across, because we should not get missed into an incorrect part, or we cannot put focus on too many things. It would not be possible. So build the technical basis and utilize tools which provide the right sort of output on that. And with that, the managing process across that, what's the interlink between them. So keep focus on what really matters and with the right people. So that's the way we can possibly achieve excellence on operational management.
Thank you very much.